following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the new Hallmark of Greatness, the show that leads you through the world of Hallmark and made-for-TV movies. I'm Joe, and with me as always, he's not only the owner and CEO of Liquor Donuts, he's their number one customer. It's James.
I still think it's a pun. I don't really know what the import of that is.
I think it's...
I'd go with it.
And he's barred from his local pets at home after trying to remake the romance scene from Wolf Cops in his own time. It's Planty.
Who's the wolf cop that can't be stopped?
Jesus. If you would like to keep up to date with all Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. You alright?
Yeah.
Very tired. I found a thing from the council that monitors the river near my house in real time. So I've just been watching that all day. It's quite exciting. It's nearly 2.5 meters up now.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
That's what you said in court.
I hope it doesn't wash the cone away that's been there for a long time up the bank, because that's the measure of when you know it's bad. If the cone moves, then...
Is it Cone 2012?
See, I was going to do that, but I don't think anyone will remember it. So,
what was that? Was it child soldiers, or was it some man that had stolen some people? I don't know what that was.
Well, it was child abduction and then turning them into soldiers. But then the guy who did the video went to San Francisco and was like running around in the nude wanking.
Yeah, it got massively problematic, didn't it?
It's a crazy town.
It was a crazy time.
I mean,
2012, main disasters and all sorts.
It's a difficult town to run up and down in, though, and it's all hills.
It's hills, isn't it? Yeah, you're running up the hill from the cops. You want to be running down the hill from the cops, but eventually you end up in the
follow-up to the Kate Bush hit, running up that hill, running down that hill away from the cops while wanking in the nude.
And then
ultimately problems.
Ultimately in Alcatraz, and that's the last place you want to be.
Well,
means pelican.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pissing in the ocular cavity.
Oh,
that's a very different film.
Anyway,
better film.
Anyway,
I don't know. I quite like this, but as we shall find out now, we've got to do, as it is nearly Thanksgiving. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think we may have mistimed this, but I don't care. This week's film, 2013's The Thanksgiving House. Or, as my autocorrect says, the Thanksgiving House.
Thanksgiving!
I'm Thanksgiving here!
Which is a different film entirely. James, let us fire up the machine.
Wow, that's the smell of putting machinery in the oven at 200 degrees. That's the premium event machinator of logic. I put in the Thanksgiving House, and it said that it was about a quirky time-traveling inventor played by non-union Jennifer Aniston. I feel like it's always her.
Who creates time traveling as well.
Who creates a magical house that can transport people to various moments in 20th century history. When the house malfunctions during a Thanksgiving gathering, it whisks the inventor and her family back to the era of the Pilgrims. As they navigate the challenges of early colonial life, they befriend a wise turkey with the voice of Morgan Freeman and join forces with historical figures like Thomas Jefferson. Together, they embark on an adventure to fix the time-traveling house before it's too late, all while learning valuable lessons about family, friendship, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving.
I mean, if we don't do it, Pixar will.
Is it not that's the synopsis of that film about the turkeys called Freebirds? Where one of them's one of the turkeys that go back in time to save the very first turkey from being eaten.
And is
I'm
Morgan
pretty sure
Freeman
it's
in
that
that
synopsis. No, Woody Harrelson is.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
possibly one of the Wilsons.
I'm sorry, what? There's a film where turkeys go back in time to stop.
Yeah.
And we've not
Say
seen
that
it.
like everyone knows that.
Name me another Thanksgiving movie.
Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
The Thanksgiving House.
Yes, which isn't even called The Thanksgiving House when the film bastarding starts, is it? No. The actual synopsis, I will say that is a good idea for a film, though. Although you did say 20th century and the first, as we found out, the first Thanksgiving.
Well, it malfunctions.
Oh, I see. It goes beyond its time limit.
Yeah, because it was an inventor who created a magical house. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's like when Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap goes beyond his own timeline that one time.
Yeah, but that's science, isn't it? This is just magic.
I mean,
Beyond you can, isn't it? You know.
Anyway, the actual synopsis for this film: when a Boston lawyer, Boston sounds very similar to New York, inherits a house in Plymouth. That's Plymouth, Argyle. She has no idea she may have inherited a historical treasure. Her initial desire to sell the house. Her initial desire is to sell the house, but she discovers that her house may be located on the site of the very first Thanksgiving.
That's not true. None of that is true.
Which is
what I'm thinking is ghosts. But no, we've moved on from spooky season.
That'd be good though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I also like the fact that the machine was like historical figures like Thomas Jefferson, and then that's
yeah, it only gives you one.
Just one. Let's get into this. My first problem. This is on YouTube under the title The Thanksgiving House. But when it starts, the opening credits are the cityscape and some fountain and that, and then it is called Interloping Passion or whatever.
Legally Tender.
Legally Tender.
Legal Tender.
Which is my grinder name.
I thought it was. I was pretty certain I'd watched the wrong film because mine was called Thanksgiving Escrow.
Oh, Jesus.
It didn't take me long before I wrote down that. So
you can't eat escrow for Thanksgiving. It's turkey or nothing.
It's turkey or grits, but we'll come to that.
Or steak, apparently.
Oh,
yeah, and we're introduced to our female protagonist of this film, Mary.
Worst opening
Christmas
sequence to introducing a main character because she's just a bullying people about fibromyalgia.
Yeah, I wondered what he'd got. Has he got piles? I'd written, and then
so she's interviewing this dude. She's a lawyer. He's got some unspecified illness. His lawyer shouts, "Objection!"
Like, you're not in a court.
He's just in a law office. Yeah, brilliant.
Maybe
Love
he
that.
was playing Phoenix Wright on his DS, and he was just like...
There's a poppadom in the background. There's all sorts of things going on. It's either that or a gong. I couldn't quite make it out.
Oh, I haven't got my gong noise anymore.
She says that, well, what's this picture of you then? You know, you've got all this unspecified illness, but here you are running along joyfully with a walking stick in hand.
See, I thought he'd fallen running for the bus and was trying to sue the city for bus discrimination.
I assume he's being sued by Department of Work and Pensions.
Yeah, that's
possibly.
Which is good, because if he's claiming benefits he's not entitled to by running about going bowling and that, then yeah.
He's not the real criminal here, though, is he? It's the government,
no,
let's be honest.
No, yeah. But I genuinely thought, what am I watching here?
You were watching, Joe, single female lawyer. That's what you were watching.
Listen, it took me an hour to write it. I thought it would take an hour to read. No, but I thought it was one of those like BBC in the morning programs, like Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away, or like Bastard Squad or whatever. You know, like,
what's Bastard Squad?
Bastard Squad's the made-up. Anyway. But yeah, she's just an arsehole. And like,
yeah.
I think it's supposed to show that she's like good at her job, because then she goes in to bully her assistant Victoria.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need the case files for the McGinty deposition, and I need and it's just like, if you were this sort of powerful,
I'll push my 1 o'clock back to 2 o'clock, make it a 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's that sort of stuff in there.
You've got she's also got a partners meeting because she's good at business.
Yeah, she's good at law stuff.
Yeah.
She's bullying the lassie, and the lassie quite unabashedly says, "I'm really sorry, I opened this letter of yours. It was addressed to you, and I open all your mail that's addressed to you, but I shouldn't have opened this particular one that's addressed to you because it's about your dead auntie."
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's part of your job. It's what you do.
If she's her assistant, then she's gonna. If she didn't open it, she'd be like, "Why have you not opened my mail?"
She's obviously scared of getting battered. Is what's going on here.
That's lawyer. Yeah.
At this point, I had a little bit where I noticed I wasn't really paying attention to the credits, but there's a bit co-executive producer Randy Pope. And I thought, aren't they all?
Which one?
They're all Randy Popes by the time I've finished with them. Legally Tender and Randy Pope solving crimes. Yeah, and it turns out her aunt, her great aunt Florist?
No, not a made up name.
Nellie?
Millie?
No, it's Phyllis or Aunt Philly.
Oh, like a cheesesteak.
Because I thought it was a horse at one point. Yeah, she's died and left her a house. And she's like, we used to spend all our summers there. And I'm like, but you've never been back. Like, fuck you, Aunt Philly. Thanks for looking after me all those summers, but boo. Like, it just annoyed me because it's always the way with these things. Oh, great Aunt Gertrude left me her potato picking factory. Have you ever been back there? No, but I had so many good memories as a child. Well, why wouldn't you have gone back and seen her?
No, but I love crisps.
Yeah, I do like crisps.
And we cut to the house where there is a rugged man. A rugged man called Everett. It took me a while to get his name down. That's his surname, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, he's obviously out, been cutting his own hair and taking photos of the house. He takes some flowers back to his parents.
Like a fucking midnight creeper, though, taking pictures of people's houses.
Well, he knows what his parents like, taking sort of like foliage and stuff because they're making some sort of nest within their own house made out of autumnal leaves.
They've got all leaves glued to the walls like maniacs.
Everything does. He goes out to a post box later on, and there's a festoon around it. Who does that?
People in Plymouth.
It's like those knitted things that they put on post boxes in slightly upper middle class areas.
Oh, they do it in Little Leaving near me. It's not upper class areas. Mad old ladies. It's never anything good. It's always like, it's poppies, isn't it? But like, like where I go through on the bus through Little Lever, it's Poppy Wankers week every week. Like
Captain Tom, like a Captain Tom on the top.
There's them steel cutout things, like all of it, and I'm like, weird. Anyway, but no, right. So they're eating their dinner. His mum and dad. He still lives at home as well. At 27 or whatever.
Yeah.
He comes in. She goes, I'll go and get him a plate. He can get his own. He's 27. It's not a child. And he goes, I got you these, Mum. Gives her some flowers. She puts them in the glass of water she was drinking from. Like,
they obviously run out of. They've got so much crazy shit stuck around the place. They've run out of vases.
Okay, that's. And then like he goes, I took a picture of the house, and his dad goes, "Is it the house?" And I was like, "What the fuck? What's going on? Which house? What?
The house? I was going to say the house from the movie House.
The house on Haunted Hill. Is it?
I thought you wanted to buy it or something. No, yeah. Anyway, they don't think it's creepy that he's just been taking pictures of a house.
Oh no, they're dead excited by it. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was late for dinner. I've been in my dark room doing pictures." He's like, "Whoa, what pictures?" "Oh, minges."
All them women I've been peeping on, like George McFly. Yeah. But the fact that he went, is it the house? I was like, what is? Because it's not explained at any point.
It's not even the house, though, is it? Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. There's a fancy dinner that she goes to, meanwhile, with Rick, a non-union Charlie Sheen, I've suggested.
Oh, very good.
I've put just non-union Johnny Tightlips.
He's both a boss or a partner or
he's
a
the
love
boss
interest,
of that,
or...
but he also has a series steakhouse called Rick's Steakhouses. They went, because he wants to open steakhouses on the cruise ships later on.
Yeah, one in Casablanca. We're going to Rick's.
Yeah, everyone. But he is, because this is supposed to be Boston, and it's clearly Canada, it always is. But he has the most confusing accent of anyone, because he starts off very Boston, but then ends up going, "Hey, you guys, I'm walking here," and it's just like, where are you from?
I've written, he sounds like an oldie-timey bootlegger. The noodles are in the pot, and the water's boiling, I tell you.
He's just all over the place. He started off strong, and then just, what was I doing yesterday? It was like this, and then it just got worse and worse as time went on. But they're dating, but really don't seem to like each other very much either.
No, I mean, he has ordered her a drink, so fair enough.
And a meal.
He's making a...
He's ordered for her. But it is his steakhouse.
Yeah.
I missed all of this backstory.
Anyway.
It's blink and you miss it.
But that would have really grounded him as a character in my eyes.
I could assure you, James, fall asleep and you'll miss it, because I did. At one point, I had to go back.
The last 20 minutes, he disappears from the film.
But only once he's got a plot line, because he has a plot line for a moment.
Yes, but
the only thing I got down is that she says that she's got a house in Plymouth now. She wants to make an inventory of knives and forks, and he says he does that for a living. I was like,
because he loves knives and forks, because he's a restaurateur or whatever.
Like Alanis Morissette.
He says, "Oh, what is it? Is it in Boston?" She goes, "No, it's in Plymouth." And he's like, "Oh, all sailors and Ginster's pasties."
So he agrees. I don't know. I've never let anyone. I trust my wife to order a drink for me.
Yeah.
I trust Rachel to order my tea.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that man to order a drink for me, but yeah.
And it ends up with a dry martini with 2 olives, and it's not my drink. It's really not mine. I'll have a G&T, please.
Gatorade and.
I love a lady boy.
Ooh. I went to an Alan Partridge themed quiz night and they were selling Ladyboys for £11.
I got a Ladyboy bought for me on my 21st birthday by my manager.
It's a rough go.
It nearly knocked me sick.
Yeah.
I was only 21.
That's a pint of lager, a gin and tonic, and a Baileys. Not like a...
bloody hell.
Yeah, it's Alan Partridge, isn't it? These are your drink. Ooh,
Yeah.
Ladyboy.
I'm going to go and...
Cook all the food.
I've got to go and cook all the food. It's a hotel, Alan. It's only 3-star.
Anyway, this isn't the Alan
I wish we
Partridge
were
thing,
watching
'cause
that.
it's better. Yeah. Yeah, so they drive out and he's like, boys, it's great over here because it's only an hour away from Boston.
And then someone's like...
I was going to say it's past a town. It's past a lake with algal bloom in it. They roll up on a driveway, which they never seem to use again. They always sort of park on the road.
On the street, yeah.
You probably stop that fucking tour bus.
That'll invalidate your insurance. Tell me you got to drive and you park on the street.
Well, I don't know what we know about eminent domain by the end of this film.
He was my favourite wrestler in the 80s.
I've put here home to ghosts. I think that was because all the furniture had that white cloth over it.
I've never been in a house that has that. I always kind of want to. It seems like it'd be
I suggested she's been dead a while.
I thought that as well.
So this woman, this Aunt Philly or whatever she's called, is meant to be. She must be really, really old because we meet the dad later on, and he's, I don't know, let's say in his 60s, right? Yeah. So let's say Great Aunt Philly was, I don't know, 20 years older than him. Her house is impeccably decorated. Yeah. It looks so modern by 2013 standards. It's fantastic. So where's the old lady stench that you need to get out? There's quite blatantly none.
Where's the jars of Werther's Originals?
Correct, yeah, and her own piss.
Where's one of those stuffed cats that mad people have in their house?
And 17 real cats.
Yeah. But I've always wanted to go into a house, everything's covered in sheet, just because I think it'd be fun. Ooh, what's under here? Oh, chair. So it's not going to be anything exciting, is it?
You keep doing it over and over. It's just chairs and tables.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a sex wing, is it? Or
Stool.
A toboggan.
Maybe that's what killed her.
The toboggan.
Sex wing.
He does have a man outside prospecting for oil. Oh no, it's only Everett. He's come to collect core samples for an archaeological study. He introduces himself as a local historian, and she says "local historian" disdainfully, which I really like.
She's a bitch.
Yeah.
My first thought is if there's somebody taking quote unquote core samples in my backyard, is it subsidence? It's the first thing I'm thinking.
Yeah,
is the house falling down?
Nobody's doing a 2-ton poo outside my back door. It's
Is it the terminus of a glacier? What are you doing? What is this man doing?
Well, he can't say what it is.
Japanese knotweed. It's always Japanese knotweed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
where Joe lives. It usually is.
Yeah, that's my dream job. Go around destroy just with a katana. It's the only thing.
You don't got to give it the honourable death it deserves.
Yeah, put full samurai gear on. You know.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't know.
It's that a racial approach. Anyway.
You dressed as Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, twatting all this.
Yeah, just chopping it down. It's not a katana. I'm just selling a bread knife to a broom handle, but yeah, he's like, oh, I had an agreement with Aunt Phallus. She was going to let me take as many core samples as my little historian heart desired. And she's like, get the fuck off my property. Quite justifiably, I thought as well.
So I think we
Mark's dead.
Phallus.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's like, we had an agreement, and he shows her this piece of paper, and she's like, get off my land. And he's like, okay, well, I'll come back later or something.
Yeah, and he fucks off anyway, which is, if you've said, please get off my property,
and he kind of stumbles, and he goes, nice jacket, Ricky Tightlet. And he goes, hey,
they then eat a ready meal at the dining room table while Everett is writing notes by his Pepe Silva corkboard.
Yeah,
to get a load of his laugh. That was brilliant.
But they've unwrapped everything in the house. There's a lamp now. There's like a vase with stuff in it. And
there's 6 books on the bookshelf.
Yeah. But they're having this meal, and there's no sort of I love you, always have with them. They're just really both awful people. And yeah, he's writing. He's put the soil sample in a chip fryer basket.
Yes, he put it in a chip pan. What was that about?
And then he's put his night vision goggles on, and he's looking at it, and he goes, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "He needs a big shark in a tiny tank in that room as well."
It looks like CSI Plymouth.
That stands for Cop Soil Investigation.
Core Soil Investigation.
Oh god, it was right there.
And then Mary finds a book of fairy stories, which reminds her to pull a grate off the wall and crawl into the vents of the house.
To Nana Fallis's glory hole.
This is where the little monster that tries to steal Drew Barrymore's breath from that cat-sized film live.
Oh yeah.
The
cat saves
Community.
Yes, yeah, very much, yeah.
Well, Everett looks like a non-union Joel McHale a little bit.
He does a little bit, yeah. I did think I'd recognised him from somewhere, but I haven't. And James will prove that wrong later on.
Yeah, there she finds a small chest, and me and Katie at this point took bets on what it was. Aunt's recipe, best Thanksgiving instructions, how to grow a pumpkin, photos of the family, or
heroin
underground bunker blueprints.
Heroin.
No, it was family photos.
Fan fiction to Joseph Fritzl.
Yeah.
and a cotton candy My Little Pony.
Yeah.
You see, didn't you know I was a brony, boys? Whatever that is, I don't know what brony is.
Yeah,
honest.
Cook hot dog and brine.
Anyway, it's at dawn. There's a lot of, I don't know how much I could actually figure out how the passage of time.
They've got a massive fucking house, and yet he's not. Ricky Tightlips is not allowed to stay there. He has to go and sleep in a hotel.
No, because that's part of the bequeathing or whatever they call it. That she has to stay alone every weekend in this house for 12 months. Otherwise, she doesn't get the house. Otherwise, it goes to the cats. Actually, the cats own the house. You would be their tenant.
Just be their tenant. Yeah, because he arrives the next morning, and I'm like, why haven't you stopped over? You don't have to share a bed, but there's more than one bedroom in that house.
Do you think they've never done a sexy time?
Well, it's Hallmark, innit? So no. They only kissed once, I think. Yeah.
So he comes over with newspapers and a bun.
Big box of buns.
Not clear on what that bun was. It looked like an iced finger or something.
He said it was a cinnamon something, because I was like, later on she makes biscuits.
Swirl.
No, she makes biscuits later on, and she calls them sugar slugs. And I'm like, you should never name confectionery after invertebrates. Like, call me old fashioned. Yeah, it sounds like a euphemism for like.
It does.
Yeah, special times. Anyway.
She's never seen his sugar slug. He reckons that the house is worth a bomb, which it probably is. She says that she wants to keep it as a weekend place. Such a off. You're all right. I'd say you've got a sheet behind you. Actually, you might have some antique furniture behind you there.
No, that's my it's the clothes horse underneath it. Sadly,
it's always disappointing as you say, Joe, isn't it?
Yeah, he says, "Oh, I'm just drying sheets." Yeah, because the heating's on. No, I was thinking, wasn't that, what was she called? Did Sugar Walls? Not important, anyway.
You having a moment, Joe?
It's just a fun joke for me in my own head.
You mentioned
it'll stay.
You mentioned that he reckons the house is worth a bomb. So I did a little bit of investigating. The average house price in Plymouth, UK, £246,000. In Plymouth, US, $600,000, which, I don't know, might as well be a bag of fucking buttons.
Yeah. He does say that the market is increasing, so it might be worth holding on to it for a while. And she's like, nah, well, I don't know. She's like, I don't know whether I want to sell it because, I found Aunt Fallis's glory hole with my box in it. Like, that brought back memories.
Make that what you will.
He's like, hold on to it. It might end up being the Thanksgiving house, and then it'll be worth a fortune. She's like, I don't understand. He's like, hold on, you will do in about 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, because at this point, like, is this when he goes to the post office?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
And we meet the worst person in this film, and there's a lot.
Just before, hang on, though, because he does come round before this, and we get a minor plot point. She's stacking pastries. I think this is why I mentioned the pastries, because she just starts stacking them later on, like making a little pile, like a totem pole or something.
Capuchawani people.
She says,
like
I'm gonna paint this place something brighter. And he goes, see, already a money drainer. It's like, what do you think I'm gonna paint this with? Gold. I've
got Liberace on the phone and he's bringing some wallpaper samples round.
Everett's at the door. He comes to the door. He says, it's an important archaeological site because we've massacred lots of Native Americans here. And he's carbon dated some turf that he's found in the lawn out back, which just, because this is where he was. He was on the lawn. So he's done like a foot of earth in a cylinder, which will just tell you that there's a foot of turf there.
Yeah.
But anyway, she says that it's not an archaeological site. Cool. And then she goes to the
front door.
She goes to her office to say, "Let's get this psycho out of my life."
Justifiably. I mean, he did say he put everything back as he found it, but if he's took like a foot of earth out and then just put the earth on top, that's good. Someone's going to break an ankle.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you could still put, like a washing pole out there or something, but yeah.
That's like a whirly gig. It's a good idea. Yeah.
Swing ball.
Oh yeah.
Swing ball. Yeah. Okay.
All options available to you, Mary, before you go and get all legal on it.
Or just golf in your backyard. So he goes to Quincy the postmaster.
Or Jack Klugman.
Quincy shouldn't be. Is Quincy on remand? Because he shouldn't be allowed near post, right? Because he's a grass, right? And B, I'm sure he has sex with all the parcels when no one's looking.
But it's America, isn't it?
He's got pumpkins in the post boxes.
Yeah.
So.
They probably got cameras in it so we can look up girls' skirts or something.
They weren't supposed to be hollow.
They call it pervert Plymouth.
Famously.
He emails something called Century Analytic, which sounds like Cambridge Analytica to me, but it's where the samples go to get sampled for samples.
To get carbon dated. And I was like, can you carbon date dirt? Isn't it just carbon?
Yeah, you would need like a solid bit of carbon to carbon date.
Like an inanimate carbon rod.
All hail.
You've never talked to me like this before.
Right, because he's got some pottery from there as well. Yeah. Is that what he's sending off?
Can't carbon date that.
But where's he getting the pottery from? Because this has been like 400 years.
I think we're looking too much into the time team aspects of it. I think Tony Robinson and that big Cornish lad's ruined it for us. We can't just take things at face value anymore. Well, that wouldn't happen. I did
realise at this point when he gets a phone call, he's a proper archaeology man because he's got a hand axe next to his answer phone.
That's in case, because notoriously in case zombies when he's digging them up, or he incurs a mummy's wrath.
He calls up Ashley at. Did anyone catch her website name?
Oh, it's like
the
annoying pilgrim.
Nosy pilgrim or something.
Shit
will be on the Christmas quiz. So.
Shit on, Mary.
The inquisitive pilgrim.com immediately for the hot scoop that he's gone to do some samples at Central Analytic.
Yeah, because Quincy's phoned her up because Quincy's trying to bang her, right? And and she's playing him off, but he just keeps phoning her up and he just goes bye and hangs up and he's like, I'm in there. And I'm like, come on, Quincy. Get back
Everett
to
gets a
pumpkin
call.
camps.
Everett gets a call from his best mate Spence, non-union Joey Santiago from the Pixies, who immediately starts touching all of his pottery.
Yeah. But they're going playing tennis, and he's like, "Go and get your tennis stick. I'm tired of waiting for you. As a teacher, I have to wait." And I'm like, "Oh, he's a teacher. He's crammed that in, hasn't he?" Yeah.
Everett shoots him away from the pottery as though it's about to burst into flames.
Don't touch my pottery. Slaps his hand.
It's not going to do anything. Ashley Morgan then phones him up just as he's on his way out the door and says that, I want to get you on some sort of committee. Oh, do you remember that we used to be at school? We dated for a little bit,
It's the 10-year high school reunion.
Are we supposed to believe that these two are 28?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on.
You kind of squint when you watch Hallmark stuff, so everyone looks younger. Smear your screen with Vaseline.
Let's go to the coffee and crab cake shop.
Right, this was the thing that brought me the most joy in this film, is the background noise. Because they've clearly got a CD of things heard in a cafe, and they've just put it on random shuffle. And it's not even quiet, it's audible background dialogue. They're not going rhubarb, 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 like in the back in the wool pack. There's a guy going, crab cakes? Yes, please. It's really loud. Woman going, someone goes, chowder, as well, which made me chuckle.
Chowder.
Yeah, but I was like, this is really loud background noise. But
and over
every line of dialogue that the main cast speak, there's someone in the background going, another fork. It's just really, it's good because there's a whole separate film going on in the back. It's quite good.
I did find it really distracting. I can't really make out what is going on at this point, but it's something to do with it being the first Thanksgiving house that he believes it to be. The soil around it corresponds with celestial signs that it's the first.
I think it's the site of the first.
Yes,
the first Thanksgiving meal.
But then people turn up later on taking pictures of the house as though there's nothing to see. It's just a house.
What else are they going to take pictures of in this town?
Why is there a tour in this
crab
town?
Cakes and coffee shop?
Yeah, chowder. Yeah, it's there's just nothing going. But I think it's supposed to be the land was where they had the first bit. But that specific 40-foot square plot is where they had the first ever, not anywhere else, not next door, not the corner shop. There, exactly.
Within the boundaries of their fed.
Yes.
I'd like to see that land registry check.
Well, he's got a map later on that proves everything.
Yeah.
You can prove anything with maps.
Mary and Victoria are doing up the house, and we were mentioning that. Why is Victoria now involved? That's her boss.
I'm your assistant.
You don't go around to your boss's
painter and
house.
decorator. Yeah, I'll get loads of money on it.
There's a knock at the door. It's Everett wearing an unseasonal jumper. He wants to take more core samples for some reason, even though he's already taken some. She threatens him with a legal subsidy in a legal court of law.
Nice deep cut there. Yeah. It's good. No, in the cafe, it's the annoying pilgrim, and she's trying to needle information out of him for her blog because it's 2013 and blog.
Yeah.
And it was if it happens in Plymouth, you'll hear it first. And I was like, no one, you're the only person with the internet in that town.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, it's my own private thing. I want to do that, and I don't want to go to the prom with you. Because we're 28, wink, wink.
Again.
We're 28, and we're not going to the prom.
There's loads of things in this that don't get followed up.
Yeah, because she says, "Oh, we used to date," and we went out once, and she went twice, and it was the best dates I've ever been on. And I'm like, and he fingered her up the duck pond. Yeah, it's.
But she's the only eligible bachelorette in town.
Yeah, because
she wants to sleep with everybody for news. Old. Yeah,
for news. It's not.
That'd make more sense over why she hates Mary coming in. There's competition, isn't it? But yeah, we don't get any of that. No, it isn't. But it could have been.
It's just clicks. That's all she's after. She's like the 2013 podcaster.
If she was doing listicles like number 5 in this house, you won't believe where Thanksgiving was. Yeah, then that'd be better. But it's just a fucking front page and a text submission box that you can type in.
That's all. Don't get me started on that.
Even GeoCities was better.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. Anyway, Everett goes straight to Mary, spills the beans, says that there might have been the very first Thanksgiving huddled in this very property boundary. And she doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving and isn't moved by his speech because of, I don't know, a disturbed boating accident.
No, it's because that's the last Thanksgiving they had was at that house with Aunt Phyllis with her parents. And then her parents, she says, I knew something was up. And then immediately after Thanksgiving, her parents split up. So that's why she doesn't like Thanksgiving, because her parents split up at that Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't say any of that yet, though.
No.
But yes, that's why.
She's just like, I was, a pumpkin fell on my head. Yeah.
Yeah. It may as well have been that.
I was
Victoria's like, he's nice, isn't he? And she's like, all I can see is that rapacious look in his eye. I thought, steady on.
She's awful. She's the Thanksgiving Grinch. I've written here.
What does rapacious? I don't think it's what I think it's.
Inconceivable!
Because you can't say that about people. That's rude.
Ashley knocks on immediately because she's following everyone around. But that evening, Everett is in nerd mode again. And he's leaving, right? So he's got this map up that he's clearly made himself. And then he's just got sticky notes out. And he's just doing sticky notes over the map. He's just a loose cannon.
I'll fill them in later.
I can't remember what he wrote on them. I was gonna double back and have a look.
Sausages?
I bet it would just be nonsense.
Yeah.
The great nibbles debate. So he goes over and asks her out to dinner, which is a bit weird.
He's obsessed.
And she says to Victoria, well, you know what they say, keep your enemies closer, which is only half of what that saying is.
Yeah.
Cuckoo in May, keep your enemies closer.
They take a walk. I don't even think they go to dinner, do they?
No, they just walk around aimlessly. He doesn't even. There's also a guy in the background going, "Hot pistachios."
Four bits for a bag or something.
Yeah, it's like, who wants hot pistachios? Like chestnuts, yeah. Pistachios, they're too small.
Do you think they put chestnuts in and they were like, no, it feels too Christmassy, like sub it out for something else?
Maybe.
What people we can't just put hot pumpkin cubes. Hot new potatoes in a cone.
That'd be nice.
That's a reference.
What are those hot that corn? Sorry, James. What is that about? That seems like an absolute robbery, doesn't it?
It stinks.
There's a place in Bury that does hot corn.
Yeah. It does vapes now as well. It's like corn and vapes. Corn and vapes. Cave corn.
Corn, vapes, coffee, crab cakes,
hot pistachios. Extra.
Ripper takes on Wild.
He's done her a family tree. She says that she's really a Rosinsky.
Yeah,
so
this is really like
nothing to do with
this.
the
Yeah, I hated
original
this
programs.
bit because he's like, "You're a Ross," and she's like, "No, I'm not. Colonel Ross isn't really my father." She's like, "Yeah, my great grandfather was a Rosinsky, and he took the name Ross when he
'Cause
came
he's
when
big
he
fan
came
of
to New
Friends.
York." And you're kind of like, "Okay, but you're really like off about it." You know, she's really really dickish about
Well,
it.
I was like, I was trying to look it. I was going to look it up. Saying, was Rosinsky like? Did he escape from Nazi Germany? Did he flee? Was he part of Operation Paperclip? And he had to like change his name? No, unlikely.
No, but there's a
Rosinsky.
lot of that. But there was a lot of that, wasn't there? That when they arrived at Staten
Oh, yeah.
Island,
Yeah,
they
they
arrived at
couldn't
Staten
pronounce their
Island. They
name,
went,
so they
you can't have that. Just call you Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's quite sad that entire
Yes,
languages
it's disgusting.
disappear
Yeah.
because some guy couldn't be asked going, "How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Z next to a P? Are you mad?"
No, that's got to
He
be
tries
wrong,
to-
mate. That's got to be wrong.
He tries to
Nice.
apologise for not caring that her house could have been torn down. He's like, I just get a bit ahead of myself. We don't need
He's
to tear
kidding.
your house down. I've
Yeah, he's
gotten all
kidding.
the cylinders I need from your law.
He's like, "This has been my life's work finding where the first Thanksgiving meal took place." I'm like, "You ever kissed a girl? Because you could have done so much more. No one cares. There's no way on earth you could prove this is where something happened. Like, it's unprovable.
No, I mean, so you
Unless
could
there was
do
photos of them outside her house, big headdress on, turkey.
Well, there is that statue in the back of the coffee and crab cake place.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he could have taken a soil sample and then gotten that analysed. Fine. All that would prove is, like the agricultural situation in the area, or like the climate or something.
yeah, but
It
also,
wouldn't have concluded anything specifically about that house, like unless you'd found a whole turkey dinner
No,
like halfway
yeah.
down or something.
Indians was here on a like. Also, that house will have a basement, so it'll have been dug out. There'll be foundations there, so it'll have been turned out and moved elsewhere anyway. So it's nonsense.
It's
Again.
probably when they put that drive in, actually. It probably like fucked up a
Yeah.
load of stuff there.
See, Robinson would have packed up by now and gone somewhere else, looking for a medieval wall. It's always walls, isn't it?
Series of small walls, yeah.
It's never
It
good
is
stuff like
also-
a big sword.
Nah.
Or a bathhouse.
Anyway, next day she's changed the tune. Victoria tells her that the inquisitivepilgrim.com, hot off the press, has found her house. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
It
She
gets
goes
very
into
legal.
the office, doesn't she? And she goes in, she's
Yeah.
like, "I need eminent domain laws, state, global, galaxy level." and I'm like, But then I forget that America's laws are kind of weird because you can have like it escalates up, doesn't it? So you can have like state laws and then there's like
Yeah.
judicial laws or whatever it's called. I don't know, but
Oh, it'd be federal, wouldn't it? When it's
that's the
yeah.
word. Thank you. Yeah.
Have
Because
a judge's bun.
yeah, you there or me? I don't know. Shall I bring the whiteboard? It's because if it turns out that is place of the thing, the government can seize it and turn it into like an amusement park.
That's right. Yeah.
But all she needs to know at the moment is, so I think what she said is that the soil samples might prove that he's got rights over the soil because Aunt Philly said that he could have them.
Well, that's when she sends him a thing. He doesn't. She sends him a
Yeah,
she serves him
escrow
a notice.
Yeah. You've been served.
Yeah, and then they break dance out of the room.
Yeah, and dad says, "Well, you've been served. Well, what do I do now? Well, you've got to write back." And I was like, "Oh, I was
Should've
what you
got
had
it.
to do. I
It's
was
like
wondering what
that,
was
and that's the
next."
way you've just got to do more better breakdancing than them. You've been served.
Get your lino out.
Yeah, spin round on your head. Yeah, but then it turns out his dad, number one cool old time lawyer in the village. Like,
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
course he is.
Yeah,
that was it.
family law or whatever they're called. Yeah.
Yeah,
Would there
Plymouth
not be some
Family
sort
Law.
of conflict of interest?
I don't. I think you
Oh,
can have your
definitely.
family. Yeah, but I think you can have your family represented. Surely.
I wanted
Yes, you
him to
can,
be.
But if there's a legal practice, I suppose it's worth what they're doing is sort of grandstanding a bit, like they are lawyers. So yeah, back off sort of thing.
It's the dance of lawyers. what he
Yeah,
says,
it's the
isn't
thing
it?
that's mentioned. He's like, yeah, but you can't dance, Dad. I wanted him to
Meanwhile,
be
she
represented
served-
by a giant chicken, a giant southern chicken.
Nah.
Well, I'm no fancy big city lawyer.
And then Slater from Saved by the Bell comes in.
all of this legal correspondence goes through the post office where that bent postmaster's like feeding all the information onto Ashley, by the way.
He's just going through everyone's mail, taking the money out of the postcards. Like, he should be in prison.
He's
'Cause
steaming
that is a
letters
federal
open
offence.
with an iron.
That I know tampering with the mail is a federal offence in America.
Yeah, because the mail
Jack-
would go from state to state, so it becomes an
Yeah,
interstate
it's
thing.
Jack Donger, isn't it? But yeah, it's so. But he's giving away information that he should be allowed to give away, and he gets no comeuppance for it. He gets away with it.
No,
In fact, he doesn't
No.
exist after this scene.
No, he just disappears.
This is
Yeah.
it.
Thank
He's-
God.
So long, movie. Bye.
So she goes off looking for Plymouth Family Law, which started to remind me of that other Hallmark mystery film we watched. It was postal based nonsense.
Oh, I remembered it. Yeah, it's where like the letters spell out, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's in the house," or something else. Like, this is bullshit.
But it turns out she is led on this trail to her parents, who offer her sugar slugs.
No.
Everett gets back to a heated legal debate about whether the core samples he took for no reason in a place that makes no sense done with permission or not. And he has his head in his hands, and I'm with him on this one.
Yeah,
Because who cares?
Yeah.
They get called specious papers. Everett and Mary argue about who instructed Ashley to publish. Somebody says thrust and parry, which made me laugh a little bit. And
I got particularly annoyed with her here. I mean, she can be as much of an arsehole as she wants, and she can say whatever she wants to this kid. But when she was finishing eating her sugar slug, she brushed crumbs onto the floor.
Fucking rude.
Off the armrest. And off the armrest. She
Yeah.
just brushed crumbs onto the floor, and I just thought, you fucking prick.
I mean, they should have
it's
given
a
her
power
side
play,
plate,
though, isn't
but-
it?
That is, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, for me, there's a number of crimes in this film, and that's the first one that she should be imprisoned for.
Be in the
More to
stocks.
follow.
People throwing gourds at her.
That night, Rick has realised that material culture is largely privately owned and you can make a profit off it. And I noticed at this point that his car's got a license plate that just says "Mo Money," which
Oh, no. Better
very
film?
much,
Question mark.
very much defines him as his license.
Rick Mo Money Johnson. Yes. But yeah, they're going on a cruise for Thanksgiving as well. He's obsessed with this cruise. He keeps mentioning it. And she's like,
Except where they're going.
And they're going to have steak on the cruise
Yeah.
for
Cruise.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Cruise. Just
Because they
drowning
don't
down
do
the canal.
Thanksgiving dinner on the cruise.
I think I've never been on a cruise. It doesn't appeal to me. It's a big floating hotel, isn't it? And the amount of people that die on them apparently shocking.
Not enough, I would argue. I've
Oh,
just
but-
watched Ghost Ship recently.
Ah,
a lot died on that. That was
It's
good.
all right, Ghost.
Yeah, it's watchable.
It's
That.
a romp. Yeah.
It's always a romp indeed. It's not quite as good as Virus, but it's certainly up there.
Jesus. Go on. Where are we up to now? I've forgotten.
Everett goes to see Ashley as she's publishing more nonsense. He says the test results aren't back yet. The house could have an STD. And then Everett's mum comes into this in some way. She brings Mary round some sausage rolls or something.
It's the
and
rest
she
of
shows
the sugar
her-
slugs.
Is it?
and she goes,
Throw
"Oh,
salt
shows her
on
a
them.
recipe.
Kill 'em.
Cookies and conversation. And I was like, I bet there's 100 podcasts named that.
Yeah, but,
not.
do you think I could get the recipes for these cookies?
No.
Well, that depends. Will you drop the charges?
Drop the
against Everett?
charges. I was like, I
No.
mean, it's a shout. If that is how good she is as a lawyer,
Tampering
that-
with a witness, my lord.
why did
But
she
she
just
says
poison
no.
her?
She says no, and then she just says, "Oh well, okay, I'll email it to you anyway." Then
I mean, shoot your shot,
What's the
innit? Like, you know
point
what I
of
mean?
Everett is teaching at school, and
is
Spence
he a
comes in
teacher
just
as
as
well?
yes, he is, and maybe
Right.
part time or something. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
he speaks to sixth formers or something.
He's got bits up all around his classroom with like Thomas Jefferson's there, sort of thing, and there's a bit on red coats in the corner, sort of thing like that. And Spence comes in and he says, "Yeah, I'm sick of teaching. I'm a smart guy. I could run a hedge fund." And Spence goes, "No, you couldn't."
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Spence.
Cheers, mate.
I know. Just I wouldn't let you touch my pots yesterday. Not a euphemism.
and his mum, meanwhile, talking to Mary, says, "Go to the library tomorrow at 3 p.m. because there'll be a maps and seasonal decorations shindig or something."
But then, like his mum latches on to the fact that she doesn't speak to her dad and will not let it go. Every opportunity she gets to twist that knife, he does. Like it's
That's how she works,
weird.
though, isn't it? It is a power play.
Is
Brought the
it?
sugar slugs, invited yourself into the home. Yeah, it's probably like sprinkled bits all over the floor because you know those sugar slugs, they're gonna.
Oh, I just need to use
They're
your
gonna crumb
toilet and then to an upper decker.
Rick calls Mary about heritage exploitation. He says that there's serious money to be made, which is exactly why the heritage sector is just rolling in cash right now.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm not interested."
I just want to keep the house. What she says, she's like, I'm not bothered about whether I just don't want to take the house. I live in the house. I like the house. And he's like, you woman, it's all money, 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 money. Think of how many steaks we could buy with all that pencil sharpeners and fringe magnets gift shop money we'd have.
Oh, the stakes are high. I bet one of his restaurants is called that.
No, it's called Rick Steaks. He's got because what's she called? The annoying pilgrim goes to meet him. She goes, "Oh, it's my favorite restaurant.
I've eaten in your restaurant in Boston."
Yeah. And she had steak tartare, so she's obviously a pervert.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, not many people like steak tartare." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I like my meat rare." She doesn't, but she might as well. It's sexy talk, isn't it? It's meant to be sexy talk.
The worst flirting is over raw meat.
I like my meat hot and wet.
Yeah. Ooh, I'll be well done.
Anyway, we're hurtling towards the library at 3:00, where this story comes together. Everett and his mum chat on about stuff because she's met this woman, says that she's a nice soul, sort of thing. Meanwhile, he clears away. He's got a horn, which was not what I was expecting him to have found. But anyway, Viking horn. Anyone?
It belongs in a museum.
Oh, I thought it was like a horn of plenty, like a cornucopia.
A cornucopia.
Yeah,
like
that'd
a cream horn
from Greg's. Good name for the corn shop instead of corn and vapes, cornucopia. That'd be good. Write that down.
Ashley invites round some extras to do a protest. She's clearly planning something for the, big library. I
didn't know what was going on here. I must have missed something because they all come in and she's got like bits of coloured card, and I thought, oh, she's running some sort of origami class,
arts and crafts shop for daft kids. Yeah,
she's got a weird vibe about her. I mean, I think most of those people thought they were going to an orgy. But she's there in the background as they're like cutting out bits of card, going, "What a statement, you guys!"
I love that. I was, what statement are they making? How to make a crane?
Everett starts his boring, sanitized talk about the Pilgrim Fathers at the library.
This is like to show that he is a bastard.
We call that democracy, and it has its roots in your hometown, is one line from it. Get the general feel of it from that. There was an acknowledgement of genocide against Native Americans, but this one moment was nice, and that's worth hanging on to. When I think about this one moment, it hits me. And you see all the young students in the back wiping a tear from their eyes, sort of thing. Yeah. And then students come up to him with a bowl. 2 questions about the bowl. First of all, is this real? Secondly, and even more bizarrely, what animal did this come from?
If you look
one magical animal.
It's a turtle. They just turned it upside down and hollowed it out. Yeah, but Mary sees him doing this talk. She's like, "Wow, he's a great guy. I should go for many, many dinners with him."
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you got to milk that.
Well,
get all the dinners you can.
All the hot pistachios you can get from him.
Milk is hot pistachios. Yes.
He chases after her at the end, and they have a bit of an awkward chat, and she calls Victoria at the office, who's coming to deliver the Caldecott files or something like that.
She would have been better if they got like the Caldecott files, the Ipkiss files. Put a joke in there for the dad.
The Peter files. Yeah.
Oh, very good. I'm Peter File.
And Ashley at that moment chooses to unleash the goons, and it's revealed that the placards say "Our history's not for sale," which they chant over and over again.
But our healthcare is, so it's fine.
Yeah. Our history's not for sale. But it's just a tape on a loop.
Yeah, and they're just walking around in a circle.
Yeah, play classical gas. And she's like, "Get off my property." She went, "Well, we're not on your property, we're on the sidewalk." And I'm like, what she should have gone was like, "I am a white blonde woman in America. The police will do my bidding."
That's right, yeah.
All right, you look a bit ethnic. Op it. But then she
confronts her with a tablet.
She confronts her with a tablet, and he's like, "So are you admitting you are Hitler?" And she's like, "Get off my property."
This is the second arrestable offence in my eyes. Filming someone on an iPad. It's egregious. I once saw a bloke film a full gig on an iPad.
I'd have smashed it out of his hands.
I was astonished. I think I was probably more shocked than I was disgusted.
There's some terrifying statistic of people that go to the Louvre in Paris, go to the Mona Lisa, take a picture of it on their phones, and then go straight back out again. I'm like, You know they sell them in the
painted it.
No, like you know they've got them in the gift shop that'll be in a better resolution. I'm like, it's just a weird.
It's also not nearly as good as Edvard Munch's The Scream. So why would you fucking bother?
Nah, it's just a picture of a lass with a potato head, isn't it?
Art criticism, you heard it here first. You're listening to a hallmark of greatness, everyone.
I like the one where the Spanish woman ruined the picture of Jesus. I like the picture now. It looks much better now.
Monkey Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I like that one
Dr.
of
Jesus, Dr. Jesus.
Whistler's mother, Byro on
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a thing where a security guard was bored and
he
drew smiley faces
and smiley faces on something? Yeah. Was it Dean?
I was going to say sounds like it's day 2 and I'm bored. Yeah. But she kind of goes, "Oh, so you are going to sell the house?" And she goes, "No comment." And then she goes, "Oh, well, you heard it here first. She's guilty." And I was like, "No."
A lawyer says no comment. Yeah, you know what that means.
And I was like, "No, that's not what that means at all. It just means I'm not telling you because A, who are you? Who is she? Right? And B, get off my property."
Anyway, she's live streaming it. I don't know if she's actually live streaming it, but she's uploaded it to a blog after quite a long upload time, I would have thought, with the amount of footage she's captured on that tablet. And Everett is looking over this and shit posts on her side. Leaves the comment. Very similar to the reviews we have at the end of these, but
yeah. I didn't catch what you wrote because
it's something like, "Don't believe anything you read on here. She's Hitler," or something like that. And then he goes over to see Mary and he's like, "I didn't do any of that. Crab cake dinner?" So she invites him in. He reads all the books and then asks her about them, and they bond over the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, well, that's what they used to call her. Right, but the thing is, when I go into someone's house for the first time, I don't immediately go around picking shit up going, "What's this?" Because that's weird, isn't it? What's this a picture of? Who's this? It's just weird.
He's like, "Have you been to all these places then?" She's like, "Oh, I've been to some." He's like, "Huh. What's your favourite?"
It's kind of down at his house. Of course, I've not been to any of them. They bond over the Grand Canyon, which neither of them have any details about, which is a bit weird.
Oh no, she says that her parents took her on holiday there when she was a kid, and it was the last time I was happy or something. Wow, it's a big hole in the ground, mate.
That is such a conversation killer,
isn't it? Just Do you remember happiness? Do you remember when you were happy? I don't.
Anyway, they go out for crab cakes at
the
one restaurant they've got the license for. He sneaks in under the table as well that he studied law. They always do in these films. They've always done an engineering degree.
In the family tradition, but I couldn't hack it.
Yeah, he had Mexican for Thanksgiving once. Oh dear. Oh, we're poor student Mexican for Thanksgiving. I'd love Mexican for Thanksgiving.
But
I know, right?
I imagine it's going to be like, isn't it?
Chowder, in it. No, he was in LA. He was studying in LA at the time.
It's going to be good there.
Jesus, I can't believe I've paid more attention to a lot of this film than you two.
You just paid attention to where the food came from.
That's all. I was fast asleep the whole way through.
No, I was too busy focusing on the line. You like to talk about scurvy, don't you?
And I've written, just a quick reminder, I had a housemate who got scurvy once.
Yes.
It's not a gag. It's a true story.
I've heard the story several times.
It's not for this
impressive,
show.
It's what it is.
It's she's like, "Oh, I don't want to go on the cruise because we're going to have steak." And he's like, "Oh, well, it's very true to what the Pilgrims would have had because they only had dry beef on the Mayflower."
It's very one note in the...
And I'm like, "Mate, have you ever played Zelda? Like, just fuck anything. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen U2 in concert? I wouldn't go, but it's summer. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever just been outside and kicked a ball at a child's face? Just anything. Just something. Not just constant. Like, his man and dad.
He needs to carpe that DM, doesn't he? There's a community episode that he's involved in.
Indiana Jones got it wet,
Yeah, like, you're 28 years old, Everett. I'm sorry we called you Everett, but we're a big fan of Kenny Everett.
In the best possible
way, but like, you just spend all your time in your room with your chip fryer looking at soil. You'll never meet a girl like that.
The only women he's going to meet are ancient ghosts of Pocahontas or something. I don't know.
Can you put this pilgrim...
I think I've seen that film, actually.
Can you put this pilgrim outfit on for me, please?
Can you have all your teeth drop out through malnutrition?
She says that she is empowered by her autonomy and hates her family She mentions autonomy a lot. Yeah, her parents got divorced. She hates her dad, and Thanksgiving feels false as a result. She also mentions that she works for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and his dad knows about the Supreme Court, so they bond over that, sort of.
Yeah. I didn't know Diana Ross was ever a judge. Ayo!
I worked for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Clang. I mean, what a fucking. I mean, you could. I bet the writers couldn't name another.
They did, because his dad worked for another. I didn't know who it was, but
right. Okay.
dropping Ruth Bader Ginsburg is it's a liberal tag on this film, isn't it? For
Battenberg Jones,
which makes sense marketing wise for them, I guess. But yeah, whatever. He wants her to talk. Wants her to talk to his class.
Well, tomorrow I've got to deliver a presentation about the Supreme Court, but I haven't done any prep for it. You'll do it, won't you? And she's like, nah, mate. And he goes, oh, tell that story about the cockroaches. He's like, sweet, I'm in.
Boy, isn't that a good story?
Yeah, she talks for a minute and a half, and a minute and 20 seconds of that is about cockroaches.
I would have loved to have known what our students' notes were at that point.
Well, that one kid goes, hey, tell us how they got rid of the cockroaches. He's like, I don't know. They're still in Parliament. Wah, wah.
Oh, she goes, chemical warfare, yeah.
She goes back home and Rick's on the doorstep, feeling jealous as he might do. He's angry about the date.
Hasn't he met with the saucy pilgrim lady? And
they
have come up with a scheme, because they're
I
both
don't think
kind
they've
of
done that yet, but they have met
together, aren't they? Because I thought he's come back because he's like, if the government offered to buy it, we can pay more to keep it. I think that's what they say. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You can't. The government want to take it, they'll just take it. It's not a question of money. They'll just give you no money and they'll just take it. That's eminent domain. They'll just take it off you. But he's like, I could give them more money and then we could turn it into a fun fair. And then ha ha ha. And I honestly thought when she got there, he's changed the locks or something, something fun. Yeah. Nah. He's just stood there outside like a wet end.
She's like, well, fuck off. And I was like, oh, she's broken up with him. She hasn't. But anyway.
Because he comes in and he's like, right, come on, get your shit together. We're getting on this cruise, aren't we? And she's like, no, I'm not going on the cruise. She's like, come on, steak. And she's like, that's it. I've had enough. Get out. We're breaking up. And he's like, oh, what? Because you're shagging Everett. And he's like, no. I just went and talked about cockroaches with him. And he's like, well, I don't know. That's as close to lovemaking as we get in Hallmark films.
The old cockroach story. It's got cock in it, you know.
Yeah, not to be confused with the old Roachford story.
Your fog lights are on.
This
is when they break up.
Yeah, so Ashley and Rick meet after that and discuss taking over the house, run it into ground for profit. Hostile takeover is mentioned.
Yeah, and then bye, Ricky Tight Lips, bye, sexy pilgrim. That's it. You never see him again.
Never see them again.
No.
Steak Boy and Mouthy Pilgrim, which might be the follow-up to Sharp Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah.
As all of a sudden got a little bit sneaky, you could tell by the music, and nothing comes of it except for a line at the end. Well, I'll give him a good fucking talking to or something.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, well, we haven't heard the last of Rick. And I'm like, Thanksgiving House 2, Ricky Tight Lips takes over.
The Rickening.
Nice.
She rebounds pretty quickly because she and Everett plan a second date. Meet me at my mum's at 6. Oh, mate.
Your mum's
made up, though. His mum's made up. He's brought a girl home that's real.
I'm sure they're loving it. Yeah,
she's not been built out of bits of rock that he's found somewhere.
I'll take you to the date on my bike.
Cardboard cutout of Wednesday Addams in the Addams Family Values when she's got that pilgrim outfit.
Rick,
Rick disappears. Rick's gone.
Yeah, he's got. I think there was something about the cruise. He says "Colour me gone." I don't understand what that means.
He does say "Colour me gone," and I didn't really get what that means.
Is he a pirate? Colour me gone. I'm off to get some chowder.
Everett's mum explains that stuffing is gluten-free because another family member has gone vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Daft Uncle Bob or whatever.
Yeah, and tofu sweet rolls or something, whatever that is. Is that not? They not a tofu version of testicles?
No, sweet breads.
Oh, right, okay.
I think sweet rolls is just bread that's. I think it's just like like the bread you get ice fingers, like an enriched dough. I think it's that.
Well,
so why you put tofu in
that?
it? It's got milk. It's got milk and egg in it because it's enriched dough in it.
All right.
That's this date. Am I right? And this date has just taken place at their house with his parents.
Yeah, it's just tea. She's just gone round for a tea.
First one they
had
was in a restaurant. Said shit, but and the second one, yeah, they go around and again, the mum's like, have you spoke to your dad yet? Because he'll be dead soon, you know. She's like, fucking hell, I'm having had me pudding.
And she's like, yeah, my father, well, we didn't talk for a very long time. And then when Everett was born, we started talking again. And that's okay, because when he was a year old, he died. And
Everett
the line
killed
is,
him.
like many Southern men, he lived large. And I've written, oh, Lordy, I wish I weren't so fat.
Oh,
he says as well, he couldn't wait to grandpa that boy. And I was like, can you use grandpa as a verb?
Oh, I'm going to grandpa you so hard.
All the Werther's originals.
Yeah. Take it out of the duck pond. Yeah.
They're doing all of this. Well, the two men.
I just got to imagine her dad was a big fat dude in a white suit. Like, mint juleps on them.
And beignets.
Oh, it's going to be a hot one, boy. Anyway, sorry.
Mon cher.
A good image.
I don't know when he became Gambit from the X-Men.
I'm going to grandpa you so hard, Cherie.
He says.
Yeah, and she's like, all right, well, maybe I'll speak to him. And he's like, well, you should, because Everett will kill him if you don't otherwise. He killed my dad. He's got a taste for it.
He takes her upstairs. All right, yeah, we're getting somewhere here. Shows her his research.
Shows her his fucking rock collection, like a nerd.
My geode must be acknowledged.
Oh, would you like to see my etching? It's take your top off, love.
This is the bit where he shows her the map, isn't it? And he talks about 1621 again.
This is where he shows his train of research that he's done, and he explains it in 2 minutes. I'm like, that's took you 17 years.
Little bit of information on 1621, gentlemen. Pope Paul V dies at the age of 70. The Swedish city of Gothenburg was founded.
Nice.
And the last baby beaver born on Exmoor until July the 13th, 2021. 400 years with no beavers born on Exmoor.
Oh, so
there
all
you
the
go.
others
And
just lived there with sterile.
I just assumed that they'd gone, go, run free on Exmoor.
Oh, nice.
Let them out of an old transit van.
Exmoor. That's all I've got. But yeah, he explains all this, and he's like, this is my research. This is his Pepe de Silva, like, string wall. And he's like, so at the local people, and there was a guy, and he had a book, and he was sending letters, and I've got a map, because he was the cartographer. Something very convenient.
And he described the ground as being suspiciously lawn-like, where they were holding the Thanksgiving dinner.
It was very Corey.
So we got
other words that rhyme with Corey. Story, allegory,
Montessori.
And she's like, take me, I'm yours. This level of in-depth research you've done.
Oh, wait till I get you up these stairs.
I'll grandpa you.
Oh, just you wait.
Sit on my knee and I'll sing songs at you and feed you rum. You pass out when I can watch Formula One. That's my granddad. Yeah.
I can't remember what happens after this.
She leaves. She's like, this is bullshit. I thought I was going to at least get me front felt. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. It's not, what's it? Jacob Masterson, the master carpenter, didn't explain it in his book about how to do it with a lady girl. So, I don't know.
So she's like, well, I'm gonna throw my own Thanksgiving party. This will get him interested. And she's gonna do it, and then Everett's mum comes over to redo the house for a Thanksgiving feast, and essentially just invites herself round.
She comes round to give her, because she doesn't know any recipes. A business who's
not found any in a crate round back at any point.
It's just full of My Little Ponies and. Yeah. And she phones Victoria, goes, I'm having a Thanksgiving and you're coming. And she's like, okay. Like, it's like, but this is, I've noticed that, right? I don't know if I've ever noticed this, is that, like, the women in these films only ever have one other friend, and it's someone that works for them.
Yeah,
like,
it's nobody.
No other female friends. And it's quite sad, in a way. It's what I imagine Deborah Meaden's like.
Anywhere I hang my Thanksgiving apron is home. Says that woman. It's that old expression.
Somewhere Paul Young's weeping.
You know what they say? When my Thanksgiving apron is home.
Cook any port in a storm. Right. No, she goes around to give her these recipe cards, and she lays them all out because they've always got them in a little tin, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like, and she goes, "That's all you need." She's laid them out. They're all color coded as well, which I thought was quite good. And she's like, "That's all you'll need." And she's, "How many are you cooking for?" She went, "Oh, just 2." And I'd be like, 2? I've come round here, and you're cooking for 2 people. Get a froze, get a pizza. Jesus.
Yeah. Get a Mexican.
what to cook for you.
Well, that as well.
And she's like, I've got an idea. Why don't we come round here and we'll cook together? And she's like, I don't know about that. She was like, my house full of people. I was like, and she's like, have you spoke to your dad yet as well? I'm like, fucking let it go,
leave me
Abigail.
alone.
Let it go. I'll do it in my own good time.
Yes, she has, because Mary's dad turns up.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the next day, or whatever it is, Thanksgiving Day is, Victoria's there, but she's not helping then. She's off the clock. She's like, make your own food. I'm going to go and watch football with boys. Because, again, all the women cook, all the men drink
Mhm.
beer and watch football. American football, and worse. And it's a knock at the door, and it's Mary's dad. And he's like, hello. It's just like this weird thing. And they come in, and they're all like, oh, hello, Mary's dad. Here, come and sit down. Like,
Oh,
let's watch
good.
the
You've
game.
invited Spence. That's really special.
Yeah,
Thanks.
well, he's, Frank Black might show up later. He said he was going to. Yeah.
Uncle
is he-
Bill turns up as well with like 5 people. I'm like, what is this? Where are
Well,
all
that's
these
keep
people
showing
coming
up.
from?
Yeah. John. John is her dad's name.
Yeah,
and
they have
so,
a tense conversation, don't they?
So yeah, he has basically. She's like, I don't think I can forgive you because of what you did. You left, and he's like, it was the biggest mistake I ever made. And I don't know, did they just get tired of you, or like z-shagging about, or like?
Yeah, that I don't think that's ever mentioned because I haven't got anything here for it. And I
No.
thought, oh, someone else will have that.
No, I don't.
Nope.
Yeah, no. She just goes, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made, leaving your mother. So I think they just got bored of each other. And he's like, but I never stopped loving you. And it's like this bit was genuinely like, oh, this is quite nice, quite like.
Well, it is, but then he's not really learned anything, has he? Because she says the least you can do is chop the ends off these green beans and then slice them diagonally, and he doesn't even do that.
No,
he just
he's
slices
like-
them diagonally,
He
so
just
the
runs
ends
his
in there.
hands through them. Like that bean.
Well, she's piling up like some couscous or
She
something.
just loves making piles of food. Like,
I would have been a
Toasting
lot
cows.
more into this if it wasn't 20 different films all crammed into one film. Like there's so many half storylines.
yes. I said when her dad appears, we lose the Rick and Pilgrim story.
Yeah.
It's like we can only have one thing happening at
Yeah.
a time. And he went, yeah, because but it's that horrible thing as well. It's like, oh well, can you cut those beans? And he goes, and they both go ends off diagonal. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not a
What's
catchphrase.
that? Yeah, what is it?
No. Do you remember when we used to cut beans together, Father? Ah, many of the. It's
I've cut many a bean.
stop it. I see where you're going, and I don't like it.
That's why she moved to Boston. She's obsessed with beans.
Yeah, there's the Wind City. Beantown.
She gives a Thanksgiving speech about how, I don't know, something like the Pilgrim Fathers and the Native Americans broke bread together, and that's what they're doing now. Somebody's got a rolled bread bun on a plate. I'm like, what
Yeah.
meal is this? It's got stuffing. It's got steak, I think. It's got beans,
Steak.
definitely.
No,
It's
because
got
there's like a
bread
turkey
buns.
in there as well, because the dad's cutting that up, and he's like, pass your plate. And I'm like, this is awful. Put all my stuff on a plate, and then put my plate down. I don't want an assembly line style production, because then bowls are going to be hot. She's holding that bowl of mashed potatoes for ages. It burns your
Yeah.
fingers.
Ways of nothing.
No big
and
salad
then
either. -1 point.
Everett says, we didn't want to really like tear up your place. You could just have this blue plaque. And also I've made you a swing.
Oh, right,
yeah.
yeah, close your eyes. And they go, well, she's like, oh, well, if they want, she sort of says basically, if they want it for historical thingy, then I'm prepared to, let them have the house. And he's like, no, we'll put this blue plaque up. Close your eyes and come outside with me, right? He's made this swing. He's wrapped a load of leaves around it as well because they're obsessed, like the Tarzan in this film. And then, like, she sits, she goes, oh, how did you know? I looked at, when I was looking at all them photos going, who's this? I got the idea then. And then she sits on it and he stands next to her and just stares at her.
Yeah.
And I was like, give her a push. See if you can get her right the way over the top.
if anything, it was weirder once he'd given her a push and infantilized her. Yeah.
And they're on a swing, whereas my understanding of all of any holiday is that they should actually be falling asleep on the sofa, hammered on baby sham and snowballs.
Yeah.
And that's how these things go, right?
You've eaten more food than you've ever eaten in your life.
Yeah.
Right? And then you've had so much Advocaat, right? Because the only time of year you get it, innit? Or you've had sherry. Because it's
yes, please.
a litre and a half QC for like
port. Yeah, I'd like that, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then you put Doctor Who on, or you put Shrek on. Shrek's normally on, innit? Like, and you fall asleep, and you wake up in time for Christmas Day, and then you go and make sandwiches out of all the leftover stuff, and start the whole process again. Maybe top up with Quality Street or like celebrations in between. If your blood sugar's running at all,
dangerously low.
If your blood's moving at any point through your veins.
You've got to stop it.
But having seen like American Thanksgiving, it's like something that always freaks me out with sweet potatoes with marshmallow.
Mm-hmm. That's
I was
disgusting.
Yeah, you put like mashed sweet potato, and then you put like tiny marshmallows on top, and then like
You flambe it or something, don't you?
Yeah.
Grill it.
Okay, and it gives it a sort of sponginess. I mean, it sounds disgusting, but
Yeah, of course
give it a
it does.
go.
Like turkey is shite meat anyway. It's the worst of all meat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why you'd want that? And then like I'm not a big fan of Sunday roast anyway, but would have been better if I'd have had a steak.
Yeah.
Well, you should have gone on the cruise with him then. I can't believe you didn't.
Ricky Tiger Lips.
Yeah.
He's took the Pilgrim with him.
Oh, of course he
Plotting their
has.
revenge on the high seas.
Yeah, so there's
The ship
it ends with them.
colony leaving.
They kiss. He gives her a push. It's a bit weird. And I'm like, what about Rick and Ashley then? And they're talking about how nefarious they are all the time. Her dad, the samples, the perverted postmaster. What about any of them?
None of it. What he should have done as well was twist the swing round and round and then let go so she was all spinning round in a circle. That'd have been funnier. Yeah, and that's it. That was the end of it. They do a kiss, they have a swing, and then it goes, Rick will return.
The Revenge of Rick.
Yeah, Rick Dangerous.
Rick Roll.
That's the end of the film. I didn't mind it, but it felt like in the third act it lost its way because they just went,
Yeah, definitely.
fuck it, we don't know how to end this. Yeah. Was it the place where they had the meal?
Don't know. The samples never came back, so we don't know.
Did Quincy even send them? Or did he have sex?
No,
with
he was
them?
like, "Fuck it, I'll just make a blue plaque," and it
in a
says,
tube.
impending interpretation of the site. It's probably just blank text.
Garbage. But yeah, no, I mean, like the making amends with her father thing's quite nice. It was something different what we haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, it needed a dad to come in earlier for him to be a character for them to make up, and you can't just put somebody in the concluding bit and then it work out. But yeah, that's why I gave it 4 bronze sugar slugs.
Oh, Mark?
2 bronze Beantowns. I hated it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go 1 pot made of undescribed animal. I thought it was all right. It just, it's lost its way at the end.
Is it Suits? Is this what Suits is?
What are you on about?
The TV show Suits.
Oh,
Is
I've
that what
never
this
watched
is?
it.
Is this Suits?
Is that the one with...
Was she Suits?
Not Margaret. Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
I've never
Which
watched
one of
it.
them is Suits?
Stop saying Suits.
I need to know.
They're all Suits.
Listeners,
Each and
hook
every
a
one of
brother
them.
up. Tell us,
Yeah, I mean, what? Anyway, yeah.
You fucking what, mate?
I don't know.
Yes, so that was The Thanksgiving House 2013, or, if you prefer, Legally Tender. Same year as Jim Cobra versus the Alamo 2013, which we've also watched. A Christmas Bounty. Oh, that was the Bounty Hunter one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh, no.
The
Yeah.
Miz.
with the water bottle factory.
And the Miz, the wrestler in it as well.
Yeah.
Alone for Christmas 2013. And I don't know why I'm saying the year because they're all 2013. And Land Shark, everyone.
Oh, brill.
Oh, jeez. This makes
So go check them out. What a year of film. I think that's probably the most films we've ever watched of a given year anyway.
Yeah.
No budgetary information because I believe this was straight to TV. It was filmed in Boston, Massachusetts,
Oh,
and then
wow.
a bit in California, probably where the offices are or something. Somebody's helpfully noted that the event that Americans commonly call the first Thanksgiving was celebrated by the Pilgrims after their first harvest in the New World in October 1621. So the one that I think most people celebrate is the date a couple of years later. I think there was a few of them or something. But this is relating to the actual first, so the 1621 Thanksgiving or something, because he mentions like the ship Margaret or something, which is an awful name for a ship. But yeah, there we
Wet
go.
Dream. It's the one you want.
It was directed by Kevin Connor, a British director who, from the mid-70s, worked at Pinewood, Shepperton, Elstree, and Twickenham Studios. He's the one that did The Land That Time Forgot.
Oh.
That was proper boss, yeah. The one that's on like the dub and everything. At the Earth's Core and The Warlord of Atlantis.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
was the
look 'em
Lord
up.
of Atlantis.
I don't know how he sort of segued into just doing easy stuff, I think, for Hallmark, where he is joined by the writers Gene Abounder, which is a cabbage
Yeah, she's a
name,
bounder.
A bounder and a
A
cat.
cad.
and GB White, Also of The Christmas Ornament, A Ring by Spring, which I think Joe came up with, and latterly a film series called Big Sky River.
There's no rivers in the sky. You can't drink a pint of Bovrils.
And they had to bottom that out with 2 films. So
Wow.
Mary was played by Emily Rose. She's done a lot of TV work, including 2.5 Men, ER, and some games as well. I think it was Death Stranding and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
Skilled equestrian in both English and Western riding. I didn't know that those were 2 types of riding. I thought it was country and western. It says on IMDb that she's looking forward to a role where her character rides horses. So this is awesome.
Write one, Emily. It's not hard.
Yeah.
We'll get the machine to write you a script.
Still chasing that hoofy prospect. Everett Justin Bruning. Again,
It's
mostly.
like, with the casting couch, like, do you want English or Western riding? And they went, I didn't know there was a difference. Nobody knows.
There's no horses in Plymouth.
It's one just not like jodhpurs and the other like chaps. That's the only difference.
Yes, English chaps. Everett was played by Justin Bruning, mostly CV work again, including Grey's Anatomy, and Christmas Hallmark films The Reindeer Games, which intrigued me slightly, and Swept Up by Christmas.
Wait,
According to IMDb, he spent a summer inseminating animals on a farm. It turned out to be his worst job ever. Clearly written by a fan, but I just like the fact that it turned out to be the worst job ever. Like, he thought that he was just inseminating animals on a farm.
Wait. He was inseminating animals on a farm.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
It depends what he was inseminating them with. Yes.
I thought he was. Like,
Yes,
right.
he spent a summer inseminating animals on a farm.
Right, in prison. It's not a job. I've seen videos.
So I can't remember what his parents were called in it.
Sorry,
so
let's go back.
Go on.
He said he was in a film called The Reindeer Games. Not
Yes.
Not
that one.
reindeer games.
Right,
Yeah, not
so I
that
was
one.
going to say that's very different.
Yeah, The Reindeer Games. His dad in it, I can't remember what his dad was called, so I've just put
Parker.
as Daddy Mathers.
Yes,
Bruce Broxleitner. He's President Sheridan in Babylon 5 and in Tron as Mr. Tron.
Mr. Tron. The titular Mr. Tron.
Again, it's Mr. Tron.
Babylon 5's a big pile of shit.
Babylon.
Yeah, there's
Get
a lot
out.
of spin-offs of that, and he's President Sheridan in it. I've never watched it,
All
but
the
he's in
CGI
it.
was done on an Amiga. That's the one thing I know about Babylon. And
The
it's a
toaster.
lot
Yeah,
Yeah.
electric toaster. It's good.
He's also of So You Said Yes, 2015, which is a hallmark. Owner of a bridal shop unknowingly falls in love with the son of her main competitor and then must thwart her rival's attempts to destroy their relationship.
sounds a bit too much like Bridesmaids.
I think there's a lot in that, though. I can't quite put my
I
finger
would've
on what you're
thought it.
supposed to emphasize in the title. So You Said Yes. So You Said Yes.
So you?
Yes.
So you said
yes?
yes?
Wow. That's
Also-
that was
Oh,
like
God.
the actor's studio, that wasn't it?
It was improv.
Also of Transmorphers. The
Yeah.
Fall
Oh
of Man.
yeah.
Something to do with robot invaders attacking Earth, forcing a small band of humans to seek refuge below the surface of the planet. So that's new to me. But
Second time. Yeah, it's the
But champagne now. I'm the boss.
Transformers ripoff. From
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got that.
Yeah.
got that, yeah. I think I read somewhere that it was like the first straight to Blu-ray sci-fi thing or something. And Snakehead Terror, 2004. A small town, desperate to recover from hard economic times, is under threat when a rapacious snakehead fish mutate and survive previous lake chemical poisoning. So that's got a lot of wind to it. He's also written a
wiggly
book
snake
series.
off the end of a stick in it.
And you know what? I'm there for it.
Oh yeah, we've not done one in a while.
He's also written his own book series, Frontier Earth, which is a sci-fi. I think it's a couple of books.
Sounds a
One
bit
reviewer.
close to Battlefield Earth for my liking.
I think it was 1989. So
Oh, LRH fucking ripped him off then.
yeah, I'm sure. One reviewer, because I didn't have the time, obviously, to read those books, so I read a review of it, and the reviewer, in a retrospective of his work, described it as definitely not great. So
That's harsh, isn't it?
just crushing. But yeah, I'm sure they're fine. Mummy Mothers was played by Lindsay Wagner, a veteran actor known for her large, round, expressive blue eyes. Famous for Return of the $6 Million Man. What?
I didn't know where you were going with that. A big round. Oh, please be something that I'll read it out.
And The Bionic Woman that she was in as well. But big 70s and 80s actress. Also Buckaroo the movie, 2005.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Put the banjo on the donkey kick. There's a film of that.
I think that's what the plot is.
What, people just piling shit on a donkey till it collapses. My dad kept taking that back.
Voyage of Terror, 1998. So my personal favourite is Nightmare at Bitter Creek, 1988. 4 women play a terrifying game of cat and mouse when they encounter a neo-Nazi hideout while making a trip through the Sierra Mountains.
I mean, we wouldn't go to Bitter Creek. Would just like a fun place to go. Like, let's go swimming in the lake of death and night. No, I'm all right, thanks.
Perhaps not.
No.
And finally, Ashley was played by Serena Vincent. Was Maya the Yellow Power Ranger? I don't know if there's no way of verifying that.
Must have been one of the latest. Must have been like Dragon
Yeah.
Ball. Or...
Yeah. A breakout role, as Mark has picked up on in our chats, was Cabin Fever. But also she was in The Surfer King, 2006, which looks like it wants to restart like the surfer craze. Clearly did not do that.
That kind of surf. The Rockahula kind
Yes,
of
yeah. Sasquatch Mountain, 2006. Very big hallmark of greatness territory there. And Everyone Wants to Be an Italian, 2007. It's a case of mistaken. It's a case of mistaken ethnicity, where 2 non-Italians pretend to be Italian to win each other's hearts in Boston's North End.
What North End? Is that like Preston's North End?
Boston North End. Aye, wow. I think that's a future one because I want to see people doing bad Italian accents.
Mama.
I saw that and I lost my shit.
Yeah, man.
Rightly so.
A case of mistaken ethnicity is not a thing you should ever have to say out loud.
No, it's also not a real thing.
I mean, anyway, wasn't there an American woman who claimed she was like Native American? Turns out she put loads of fake tan on.
Yes. The woman that
black.
claimed she was black. Yeah, no.
Was it black?
There's a whole documentary about that. It's astonishing.
Yeah, sorry, I thought.
Yeah, it's astonishing racism.
Thus, James Fax swings on into the sunset for another day.
One out of 10. Where's the likability? By Tug325. He takes 40 days of the year off to not tug.
I thought that's not the countdown for tugging.
This movie takes a solid 40 minutes to give us any glimpse of Mary, the main character, being at all likable or kind to anyone. Before this occurs, she takes pleasure in crushing insurance claims, smugly proclaims he has no interest in her family, dates a sleazeball with a personalised license plate that says "Mo money," and responds to any of the characters with sneers and sarcasm. Even her assist/best friend ? It's one thing if she's supposed to be a Scrooge who is eventually redeemed, but the movie treats her as if we're supposed to like her right away. She gets same empathetic treatment as any other Hallmark heroine, when she's obviously the kind of person to cross over the street to avoid in real life. Everett, the charming, passionate, clumsy archaeologist, falls for Mary for reasons that are completely inexplicable. She's outright cruel to him. Actually, all the women in his life are cruel to him. He should probably move out of Plymouth. I did enjoy the one line in the movie when Bruce Boxleitner advises his son to go digital. I really hope that was a Tron joke.
More Tron references.
Tug.
I mean, it's supposed to watch this on one of the 40 days of the year when he was master.
Or maybe he was. Maybe he was very excited by Mr. Tron.
That name again. That's it. As Hallmark films go, it's one of the better ones I've seen in a while. But that ain't saying.
I just didn't think she was likable, and I can't enjoy films where we're meant to like a protagonist that's not likable.
Well, it shouldn't take that long for them to become likable. They can be hard at the start, but as soon as they get there and the local coffee shop owner goes, "Oh, hon, have another donut," and then they're like, "Oh, this town's great, and I can live here forever." But like I said, for 40 minutes, it was like threatening people with lawsuit.
When really she should be going, "I love your beignets, hon."
Yeah. Just like your dead grandfather. Anyway, your favourite lines of film?
You like to talk about scurvy, don't you?
Like many southern men, he lived large.
coming over here with your rapacious eye.
What kind of an animal did this come from?
Oh, samples.
Oh.
Bye. Hollow tubes. I learnt about hollow tubes